What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Finally gonna install this brand new CSF high performance cooling radiator. Where I live now, it's normal for it to be over 100 degrees, and now that I'm gonna be going on a 3,000-mile road trip in the middle of summer, I'm hoping this new radiator will have no issues, no overheating, nothing like that. And I haven't had any overheating with my stock one, but on this long of a road trip, I definitely don't want to risk, the chance of overheating out in the middle of nowhere. And don't forget, if you want some Tacoma Beast merch, make sure you check the link below. Use code TACOMAN5 to save a little bit of money. This one is the Tacoma Beast with the tire pressure gauge in it. Brand new stuff, good stuff, so make sure you check the link below. And my code TACOMAN5 does not only work for merch, it works for parts as well. However, I don't think it works on parts that are discounted. And the first thing we're gonna do is remove the stock skid plate. Any skid plate you have is gonna need to be removed, and we'll just set it off to the side. We're gonna have to get up underneath there to get, see if I can show you guys right now, to get some bolts that are in the back right behind the fan right there. And just like a ton of bolts on the Tacoma, it's a size 12 millimeter for your stock skid plate. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then this will come off. Curious to see if there's any grime built up behind here, but it doesn't really feel too bad. A little bit of rust. That's actually from where I just cut the other day. And that is the stock aluminum skid plate, front skid plate. Not much damage. When I do off-roading, I typically don't do stuff with rocks, or I try not to, just because I don't want to damage anything other than the skid plate underneath here. But there you go, all exposed. With the skid plate off, just pop the radiator cap. Doesn't look too bad. Might clean this off a little bit. That's basically just making the drain easier. One thing to take note of is you may get confused on this part. So here is the side that I took the radiator cap off. You would expect the drain to be on this side. However, you come over to the driver's side and you see right there is where the radiator fluid is going to drain, and you have this cap that we're just going to twist, pop off, and then the radiator will drain from there. Twist it, and you can see the coolant. And if you want, you can take it all the way off. You don't really need to. Just let it drain, and you're good to go. Okay, while that is draining, just going to remove this plastic piece up here, 3 up top, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. And just make sure you pop up the centerpiece. Don't try getting underneath it and prying everything up. That's what I did when I first started. There's actually tools that I have in my truck that I could use to make this a lot easier, but I had a flathead nearby, so just use this. And do that to all of them, then that'll lift right up. That plastic piece is all off. Now we got to get this little hose that's connected to the radiator. Got to get this off. Believe it or not, this is typically pretty hard to get off of here. Man, there we go. And you can just set that right into there. Don't try pulling off that way. That's what I did at first. A little brain fart. All right, now the next part is those bolts down there. So right there you have 1, 2, and then 2 on the other side. Remove those, and that's what's gonna basically be able to slide out the whole fan, and we're gonna lift up everything. And again, I'm sure you guessed it, what size bolt is gonna go there, or that's a size 12 bolt. Like a lot of this stuff. And we're gonna have 4 total. So 1, and this one's a little more of a pain to get to. I don't even know how. There we go. There we go. You don't have much room to really work with on this one. I guess if you had a longer ratchet, it would be a lot easier. There's the other 2. You can see them on the bottom, 1 and 2. It's gonna be a little bit more of a maze trying to get through here. And luckily these bolts aren't on very tight. So you can see that I can turn it already with just the ratchet. And then that one, a little more difficult, of course. And just to show you that it's not, oh no, there we go. Gonna come off. Oh, that one is significantly harder to get. It's almost like I just have to let it unscrew and then, that didn't, oh, there we go. Whew, I've done that before, where a bolt fell like into like the skid plate area, and I still don't know where it is to this day. So if you have a magnet, make it a lot easier. All right, the next step on the shroud, you've got one bolt here and another one on this side. Where's it at? Right there, right underneath the hose. So that's two, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's one in here. Yeah, so you got those two, and then I won't be able to show you from up here, but there's a clamp way down on the bottom down here that we got to get rid of. I'll go underneath and show you guys. Might be a little bit easier to see. Oh, and that's a size 10, not a 12. So showing you guys this clamp is a lot harder than I thought. So where's it at? I can see it in my, where are we at here? There you go, right there. This clamp, right there. That's got to come off, and that's just, if I can get my hand up there, you just got to pull on one side. It's, so I can do it like this. Just got to free it from there. So if you get a long flathead, it made it a lot easier. So now I can show you the clamp. So there it is, right there, and it was, whoops, focus, there we go, and it was just clamped right in there. So flathead was able to pry both sides open without breaking it. Don't pull on it, you don't want to snap anything, and that's all good to go. Now we can get the shroud out. All right, now you can see it's all floppy, and how we're going to get the fan out is we're going to push in and then lift up, and it's a little heavy, not ridiculously heavy, but I don't think I have anywhere to set my phone up to show you guys it. And when you pop that out, so right now I have it out, I'm holding the fan just by one of the blades. You'll notice that it's not connected to the actual shroud. So if you lift everything up, a little difficult, you just gotta wedge everything. Pieces like hoses and whatnot. There we go. This side. Okay, so the fan's out. Hopefully you can see that. Cool. I was expecting the fan to be a lot heavier. It's not bad at all. Fan, motor, and the shroud that has the coolant on there. I'll give this a quick rinse and wipe down, and then we'll finish up with everything else, which now we're mainly just going to be clamping some hoses. Clamp here, clamp, 2 more clamps, and I think that's it. All right, let's get these clamps off. So you have this big one here, which I recommend doing first. So the biggest one on the driver's side, and then you have that top one up there. This big one may have a little bit of coolant left over in it, that one. So take it off, just face it down into your bucket. And that one may have transmission oil that will come out, not like spray out, but you'll need to clamp it. So let me come up here on this side for you guys. It's a little bit harder to see, but there's the big one right there, and the little ones are right above it. So get the clamps off, and then we're gonna remove that clamp right there. Might be a little difficult to do this with one hand. Yeah, I gotta. Okay, let's try it again. Just pinch and work it over. There you go, and just move it back. And that top one, I'm unfortunately gonna have to do without recording because I don't want any oil to leak out. It has some channel locks which will lock it. And there you can see just a tiny bit of coolant. Okay, and with the transmission, or the one that I said that will have transmission oil in it, it's that one. Oops, sorry about that. Right there, see a little drip? That's the transmission oil. Don't be too alarmed with that. I thought not as much would come out, but as long as you have that hose crimp, you're gonna be okay. So now let's work on this one and then the big one on the passenger side. All right, and this is our last hose. These ones are kind of a pain pulling those ones off, but once we get that one off, you're gonna have 4 bolts left. So you see nut coming out or bolt coming out, and it's the bolt right there. And you got another one down towards the bottom, like right there. And same thing, you got to reach down there, get that one out. And it's gonna be the same on this side. Bolt or nut, and then bolt sticking out right there. For the top one on the driver's side, I got this ratchet. That made it a lot easier to take that one off. On the passenger side for both, I used an extension and then an extension for the bottom one. I'm gonna show you guys just how difficult the bottom one is. So on the passengers, or sorry, on the driver's side, the bolt we have to remove is that one back there. So it's a little difficult, but your wrench with an extension fits perfectly in there. And then you just have to kind of find where it is and start cranking it and it'll be good. Okay, I got it off. Well, I got it loosened, and then you just have to feel back there to completely loosen it. And that's what you're getting out. That's the other side of the bolt. Okay, we got all the hardware off. Now I think we should be good to put this down. There we go. Here's the stock radiator. Let's put that right there. I think it's filthy. Here is the new CSF high performance radiator. Put it right next to it. Just about this, yeah, they're about exactly the same size. Their nice logo on the front. Comes with its own cap. You can use it if you want to. If not, you just use the stock one. All right, now let's start putting all this back together and then we'll be good. Okay, I got one of these off. I think the other ones are probably on the radiator. Get my pliers. And we need to take these off on the old radiator because we're gonna keep these. So with the radiator flipped over, we're now on the back side. So the spacer facing up, and you can do that, whoops, on all 4. Right there, and then one in the back. And if you remember, when you looked into the truck, when you're looking like down the engine bay, this is the part that is on the inside. So that the square part right there is facing towards the truck. So with the back side of the radiator, just pop that in on all of them, 2, 3, and 4, and they just pop out like that. Here we go. And on these, it doesn't matter if you use the side that has the clip or not, because we're not onto that part yet. So pop that one in, and one more right there. There we go. And then this other side will go right in the other way. Okay, all I did was put the sides without the clip at the top on the bottom of the radiator. And if we flip this, hopefully they don't fall out. There we go. So if we put this straight up and down and face it towards us, That's how you're gonna see it. There's the ones without the clips. And then the ones with the clips right up here. Just insert that in like that. And come over to this side. And same thing. Bam. And the reason you need those clips towards the top is because that's where the bolt goes through and the clip sits in the top part. Hopefully that stays right there so I can show you guys this. So again, the CSF is facing outwards. Just rest it right there. And we'll get the clip right there. And the other one right there. Cool. So now that could just sit in place, and then we could secure everything. Some of those 4 bolts that I removed from each side, I'm now going to put those back in. So one very important thing I do not want to forget to tell you guys is, if you look at it right now, I've got it all seated. Everything's perfect except one thing. So the bolt is as tight as it goes, and I have play. The side with the clip has a washer, a rubber washer that needs to get removed, and then it sits perfectly. So we'll remove that, just like I did over here on the driver's side. And it's not fully tightened down, but you can see that there's very little play even with it almost tightened all the way. So it fits perfectly when you remove that rubber washer. All right, I am not too happy with how it fit. So these clips, you cannot run these on here. At least I tried every different way of the bushings. I followed the instructions. I made sure everything was facing the right direction. And there was so much play that I could not get them to tighten down. This whole radiator was just moving back and forth. So I took off the clip part, saved the washer, and put the washer through the middle right there. And that's how I'm basically tightening it. So if you look on this side too, I took it off, and this side is bolted in tough. That will not move at all. A little annoying. I messaged a couple people and they said that it's a poor design by CSF, and yeah, so you got to basically remove those 2 clips and not use them. All right, it's secure. Pain in the butt. I had to remove a couple of those clips, so now I just have to put in one more hose right there. Where my lock's at? There we go, and I should be almost done. Hopefully, because it's about 95 out here right now. Whoops, does not feel nice. And that issue with that issue I came across took me like an hour longer than it should have. So that was pretty frustrating. Come on, try and do this one-handed. So when we put the fan back in, the shroud has to go with it. So it's a little bit of a pain to do both at the same time. Okay, we got the belt back on. I mean the fan. We just gotta secure the shroud and then get the hose from the other radiator and put it here. And then that should be it. All right, now that the radiator is secured, we can get this back on. There we go. And just pop all the clips. It's easier if the clip piece is lifted up. You just go like that. I'm not going with any special coolant or anything. I'm just going with what Toyota supplies you with. So get up the cap. I'm keeping the CSF cap on. I like that one. And yeah, 50/50 pre-diluted, super long life antifreeze coolant. We'll fill this up and then hopefully the truck starts up and there's no issue. If you guys enjoyed that video, if you have any questions, let me know. It was a little bit tricky, but I worked through it, got it figured out. So hit me up if you come through the same issues. And again, we'll see you on the next video. Take care.